Our next guest right now, Nile Gardiner. He's a conservative commentator and director of the Heritage Foundation's Margaret Thatcher Center for Freedom. And Nile, the vote has failed now some 3 times. Theresa May is proving to be the new Iron Lady there. How long can the UK Parliament negotiate a deal here?
Well, I have to say, firstly, that Theresa May is no Iron Lady, that's for sure. I think her handling of Brexit and the Brexit negotiations have been absolutely disastrous. Her EU withdrawal agreement, which is a very weak deal, has been defeated 3 times in the House of Commons. She now wants to put it back for a 4th vote next week. I expect that she's going to be defeated again. And I think the best way forward now for Britain, certainly, is a no-deal Brexit on April the 12th. That ensures that the will of the British people, 17.4 million Britons who voted to leave the EU back in 2016, that ensures that their will is implemented. Any extension, I think, to Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty would potentially derail Brexit in the long term and would be used as a battering ram against Brexit. So I think these are very, very, dangerous times. I do think that it's imperative that the Prime Minister moves forward, takes Britain outside of the EU on April the 12th and ensures that Brexit is fully implemented.
A dangerous time, no doubt, for the UK and perhaps for Europe. But back here at home in the United States, why should somebody in the middle of Iowa or anywhere else care what happens with Brexit? What impact does it have on us?
Well, I think that millions of Americans do care greatly about Brexit, and I would say that there is tremendous support here in the United States for Brexit as well, and also the U.S. administration has given its 100% backing for Brexit. Americans should care because Great Britain is America's closest friend and ally. And certainly I think that Britain in the Brexit era will be an even bigger friend and ally for the United States. It's absolutely vital, I think, to have a truly free, sovereign Britain. And Britain outside of the European Union is better able to stand alongside the United States on the world stage. We're also going to see a very large-scale U.S.-U.K. free trade agreement with Britain outside of the EU. That's going to advance prosperity, job creation, economic freedom on both sides of the Atlantic. There's a lot, I think, to be gained, actually, for the American people from Brexit. And
speaking of that free trade, actually, because the U.S. National Security Advisor, John Bolton, was talking about this to Reuters. Here's what he had to say.
President Trump remains very eager to cut a bilateral trade deal with an independent Britain. It's what the people voted for in 2016, and when they get out, whether it's now April the 12th or later, we'll be standing right there waiting for them.
Okay, it seems we know where this administration stands on it. What exactly would that trade deal bring to the United States and mean to the U.S. economy?
Well, already 1 million American workers are employed by British companies, 1.25 million Britons employed by U.S. companies. I would expect to see even more Americans and Britons employed by U.S. and British firms working together, actually, thanks to a free trade agreement. The U.K. is America's #1 foreign direct investor. UK investment is going to significantly increase further, I think, with a U.S.-UK free trade agreement, which means more jobs for Americans, more prosperity for Americans. And I think that the advance of economic liberty on both sides of the Atlantic is great for British people and for the American people as well.
Obviously, there are so many others who do not support Brexit, who are hoping that they do get a new referendum. Our thanks to Nile Gardiner there. Thank you. We'll still ahead.